woman is not your mother.
Stop lying to us, Dad. We don't believe you.
We all just want to know the truth, Dad.
It's wrong.
It's gone. It's probably at his office.
No.
You need to find a way to get it back from him. I hope you brought that seating document that my son signed, as I asked of you. Do you have it? I am the lady of this house.
No, forgive me. You were. Not anymore.
No, don't touch me.
What's wrong, Mom? Calm down.
My baby, give it back.
To share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke. Call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Put my soul up on this beat, put my life on the edge. So take this knowledge that I spit and keep it right in your head.
I am having a multi-talented artist.
It's a one of a kind, one hard to find. But you never know, you always call my mind.
Finally, umenita kwa hii show.
Finally, you're on this show.
Defenders Coalition event was held at the Allianz Francaise, Nairobi, as rather an obvious choice for some.
For me, the people you're celebrating today are the people who have fought for the freedoms of this country.
Somebody call the liar. Shine your head, it's a crown. Don't let nobody ever put you down.
We're used to him just being, up we go behind the scenes akicheza guitar. Now guess what? He can actually sing.
Jumbura girl, love that night, oh boy. She taught him how to make my talking.
Put my soul up on this beat, put my life on the edge. So take this knowledge that I spit and keep it right in your head. If you committed to your craft, stop living in your past.
Imebidi nimpeleke mtoto saluni na nimemwacha huko. Nimemwacha mtoto saluni, akimpigia babake amwambia mwacha saluni peke yake utanyongwa. Wanifuatia nini wewe? Kama ungelikuwa umemwacha kweli, ningelikuwa siko hapa.
You know exactly what I mean.
Ama unaona hapa ni chooni, utaingia unapotaka, utoke unapotaka.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
It's exactly 1 p.m. East African time on this first day of November. Happy New Month. But it's only a few hours till the close of the mass voter registration. Have you registered? Good afternoon. This is KBC Lunchtime News. I'm Njue. Welcome. Remember, you can be part of this conversation on all our social media spaces, Facebook, Twitter, or even on YouTube as we are live. Your comments, suggestions, or even where you are watching us from are highly welcome. Ann Wangeshi will be our sign language interpreter for this newscast. Straight to the news, students found to be involved in burning of schools will be prosecuted. Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has warned, noting that every child has a right to education. The Regional Commissioner said any child who refuses to be educated will be forcibly taken to correctional institutions where they will be punished as they are educated. Zainab Said reports.
Girls High School in Nairobi, students jumping off windows for their dear life. In the end, 63 girls were left nursing various degrees of injuries. The Sunday evening fire incident at Buruburu Girls reportedly began in one of the dormitory's 45 cubicles.
But I want to tell you, dear parents, right now we are worried about one thing: the insecurity that has already come into the school. Because we have already encountered very many young people, drunk people. Yes, they are here. I can assure you they are here. And we also don't know who is who. And that is why we are appealing to you parents. You are our parents, please. Cooperate with us.
Those injured were taken to the Metropolitan Hospital located just next to the school. Similar incidents of fire were reported in Chavakali High School in Vihiga County, but was managed on time. Though the incidents are currently under probe, Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has warned students against destroying school property.
Na hata ukiwa chini ya miaka ambayo inastahili kufungwa, watapelekwa kwa Boston institutions. Na tuna moja hapa Shimolatewa. Waende hapo wafundishwe adabu wakisoma. Lakini anafungwa, anafundishwa adabu. Tusiwavumilie. Jukumu la kulinda mali ya shule iko kwa school management na BOM. Na unaona BOM imemwajiri watchman. Watchman kazi yake ni kuona nini inaendelea katika shule wakati wote na kuripoti kwa school management kwamba hapa kunatokea hiki, tunafikiria kuna hiki, kuna hiki. Watoto wameenda kusoma preps, lakini kuna wengine wapi? Darasani. Kuna wengine bado wako darasani, kuna wengine bado wako kwa domu. Wanafanya nini kwa domu? There is a boarding master ambaye anastahili kujua watoto wanafanya nini kwa domu. Ili domu inapochomeka, yule mtoto aliyebaki ndani aulizwe nini inaendelea.
Elungata spoke in Magarini, where he gave a 50,000 Kenyan shilling cash award to Bugale Chief Anderson Kaingu Katana for ensuring 100% transition of students to Form 1 in his location. For Lunchtime News, I'm Zainab Said.
And now to the drought situation in the country. The national government has maintained that it is committed to the alleviation of suffering among families affected by the ongoing drought in the country. Speaking during the commissioning of Korondile sub-county in Wajir Northeastern Regional Commissioner Nicodemus Ndalana confirmed that all affected areas will receive a supply of foodstuff in order to address the cases of starvation.
While addressing residents, the regional commissioner added that the government will identify hard-hit areas in readiness for a food distribution exercise to avert further suffering as a result of the harsh drought.
Yes, wa ASALS ametuhakikishia ya kwamba chakula iko ya kutosha. Tuseme mahali iko shida kubwa, chakula italetwa. Furaha yangu kubwa ni kwamba kufikia sasa watu wetu hawajakufa. Mifugo imekufa, lakini hatujafikia mahali ya watu kukufa. Na nawahakikishia watu hawatakufa. Serikali iko tayari.
On her part, woman representative for Wajir County Fatuma Gedi appealed to elected leaders to take responsibility for the improvement of the lives of residents.
Cha msingi na muhimu ni tusaidie watu wetu wapate maji, kwa sababu sasa hivi tuko na drought mbaya sana. Tusaidie watu wetu wapate chakula. Tusaidie vijana wetu wapate kazi, hata kama ile kidogo. Tusaidie wamama zetu wapate pesa kwa mfuko. Hiyo ndio maendeleo tunataka.
Millions of Kenyans are currently struggling to make ends meet due to harsh climatic conditions in several parts of the country. Yusuf Hilo, Lunchtime News.
Moving on, a section of Orange Democratic Movement Party officials from Embu have called on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) to reconsider its decision not to extend the voter registration exercise that closes tomorrow. At the same time, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers (KUPPET) has called on its members to take a lead role in mobilizing Kenyans to register as voters.
Speaking at Hawinga Trading Center in Siaya County, KUPPET Secretary General Akelo Misori said as opinion leaders, teachers were better placed to encourage the community where they work to register and cast their votes. Misori urged those who are yet to register as voters to take advantage of the remaining time to do so.
Part of our team here as members of KUPPET, let us encourage the communities where we work to register as voters and let them also cast their votes. Encourage our people to take identity cards.
At the same time, Orange Democratic Movement Party officials from Embu have called for an extension of the voter registration exercise, which ends on Tuesday. Led by Embu Sub-County ODM Chairman Jimmy Komo, the group expressed concern over the minimal number of people turning out to register as voters.
At least wasitufungie vijana wetu nje ndio namba yetu iendelee kuwa kubwa. Message ile tuko naye ni vijana wetu watokee na hiyo mambo alikuwa naye rohoni waachane naye, tuchukue kura ndio hesabu yetu ikuage mingi vile inakuaga kawaida.
Sentiments echoed by youths in Baringo County, who besides calling for an extension of the exercise, urged the youth to shed off apathy that has dogged the exercise and be proactive in decising the country's destiny.
Kwa sasa tunaona idadi iko chini bado, na tunaomba serikali kwamba hiyo muda ambayo umetupea ni kidogo sana. So tunaomba serikali itusaidie muda kidogo, wasongeshe hiyo muda ili tupate vijana wajiandikishe na kila mtu yule ambaye ajiandikisha kama mpigaji kura.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) has however maintained that the voter registration exercise, which is set to end on November 2nd, will not be extended. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
And now to matters health, the county government of Busia will now be able to buy medical equipment without the approval of the national government. This is after the county assembly passed the Busia County Community Health Services Act, which gives public hospitals authority to purchase drugs and other medical requirements autonomously. Busia County Governor Sospita Ojamong says that the move will enhance efficient delivery of community-based health services.
Health services in Busia County have gotten a major boost following the passing of the Busia County Community Health Services Act by the County Assembly. Busia County Governor Sospita Ojamong has hailed the move, which he says will enhance efficiency in the delivery of community-based health services.
Sema daktari amekuwa na patient and he has collected the money. Akatai kutumia hii pesa kununua something that is so urgent hapo kwa sababu nyinyi mnataka hii pesa kuja Nairobi. And that's what the act is saying. That somebody should die there, even if you have collected $1 million, ifike kwanza Nairobi, ifanywe your budget, irudishe to PTS Central Bank, ndio irudi tena after almost 10 months. Si mtu atakuwa ameenda.
The county also passed the Busia County Health Services Fund Amendment Act of 2021, which will enable funds collected by health facilities channeled back to improve the same facilities.
The Funds Act, Busia County Health Services Funds Act, amended one. So that vitu ndogo ndogo kama gloves. Isiwe tena ati governor lazima ufanye procurement. Iende KEMSA haina gloves, inakuambia after 2 months atatuna hii na mood patients wanaumia hapa.
Deputy Governor Moses Mulomi said the county has already allocated 41 million shillings in the supplementary budget to cater for their stipends for 12 months.
For most of the requirement for this year, which is 52 million, we are working on how to get the balance before we move too far into the year. So the 41 million, I think the preparations for payment have been made. the processes have been infected, we expect it to start flowing into your accounts so that you can be able to continue giving us services.
The leaders, however, advocated for increased allocation of funds to the counties.
The problems with building the healthcare sector does not entirely lie with the county, it's the funding. And this funding we have done our best, but what comes to the county is not enough. So in your capacity, Your Excellency, if there is a way as a Council of Governors, you could not be up there so that more funding comes, it will help.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Safin Achieng Ouma.
And still on health, residents of Embu County are said to benefit from the upgrade of Ndagaya dispensary to a level 3 hospital. The project, sponsored by the Catholic Church in Embu, aims to offload high traffic of patients being experienced in public hospitals within the county.
Father Dominic Muriuki, who is in charge of health facilities owned by the Catholic Church in Embu County, said upgrading of hospitals was a way of supplementing what the government was doing as it seeks to achieve universal health care.
Ni furaha yangu kuona Ndagaya dispensary miaka ijao kabla ya miaka 5 kuisha hii strategic plan basi watakuwa wamekuwa level 3.
Sister Agnes Wamuyu, who is the delegate superior, Franciscan Elizabethan Sisters in Kenya, said the upgrading of the dispensary will also lead to expansion of health services offered in this hospital, hence meeting growing health needs of locals.
This building behind us into something nice and presentable, which can welcome patients, which can even expand its services.
Margaret Miti, who is the chairperson of the board of the dispensary, said Ndangaya Hospital will also act as a referral that will offer specialized services, hence meeting the needs of the locals within the county.
And because the services are good, the dispensary has been run by the Elizabethan Sisters kwa muda wa miaka 37 mpaka sasa.
Away from health, education stakeholders in Kiambu County have called for more focus on the boy child. The stakeholders argue that continued exclusion of the boy child in public discourse has seen an increase in vices such as school dropout and crime.
Stakeholders in the education sector in Kiambu County have raised concern over what they term as continuous neglect of the boy child. They say that much focus has been put on girls, a situation that if not contained could take decades to resolve.
We empowered the women and we left the men and we left men. And sometimes men, they really don't know what to do with life. The only thing that we tell them is that you are supposed to be strong, but how? How do you realize your strength?
They regretted that exclusion of boys continues to manifest itself in alarming uptake of outlawed substances, which has resulted in truancy in the family unit, low self-esteem, increased crime, violence, suicidal cases and high rates of illiteracy.
And that explains why if you go like in the most idle places, you go to Nairobi, around their commercial Abazida Hapo, you'll see a whole lane with men idling there, doing nothing. If you go to liquor places, those bases, you will see a lot of men drinking, daytime while the sun is shining.
I think the first part of hope is that there are people who are willing to find a solution, because we can all be saying boy child has a problem, but nobody is willing to risk their money to go and find a solution for the boy child.
Everybody came here as an accident, and you have a talent to survive for all the years that God is going to keep you in this world. So what we need is to give those children an opportunity.
The stakeholders in the education sector are now rooting for a balance in empowerment programs to ensure that the boy child is at par with his girl counterpart for gender equality. Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
At about 15 minutes past the hour, we are taking our first break, but don't go away. We still have more news, including more on the business sphere, not forgetting the latest from the world of sports.
you know she want a action man, she want a...
To the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it KBC Lunchtime News. Now, the Turkana community is among a select few whose traditions have withstood the test of time. Across the entire county, you will spot men carrying, sitting or even resting their heads on the ekicholong. This is a special seat also used as a headrest synonymous with the culture and status of a true Turkana man. Our reporter Nancy Okware was in Turkana County and filed the following story.
Turkana County lies in the northwestern part of Kenya. It has one of the most expansive landscapes in the country, with a population of about 1 million people, according to the 2019 census report. The county boasts of breathtaking landscapes, with Great Plains hedged in by scenic hills, such as the Kabokorit, that we attempted scaling for a breathtaking view of Kakuma town at sunset. Turkana people have a special way of welcoming guests. Complete with melodic song and dance, the women carry the guests around their homestead as a sign of honor and friendship. The Turkana community is so hospitable that often a goat will be slaughtered in the village for the guests to feast on alongside their host. However, as you stroll in the towns or even in the rural areas, you'll notice something striking. Men holding a special stool, the ekicholong. It is a special multi-purpose for ensuring the comfort of its owner wherever he goes.
Hii nikifika mahali popote kama sasa tukikaa hapa hivi nyinyi mkiangaika mahali pa kukaa nyinyi mnakaa kwa kiti, so I'm much comfortable.
Ekicholong signifies the attainment of a certain status in society.
Sasa yule huyu kama hajafanywa ya asafan hata kalia kiti yangu, hata kama ni mkubwa side yangu, kama mimi ni mdogo yake na nimefanywa asafan hata kalia kiti yangu.
Under a tree at Tarach village in Kakuma, we encountered these two elderly men napping away blissfully. At a closer look, we found they were resting their neck on the ekicholong. Ours is not to interrupt their afternoon relaxation. We are told they deal with conflict resolution and are awaiting any cases that may arise from this village on this day. At this point, the question lingering on our minds was, just how comfortable is this seat?
Inakaa tu mzuri. Kwa sababu unashimba paka akae mzuri, kapopile kikaa inakaa tu mzuri. Hauwezi kisikia mbaya.
Women are not allowed to sit on or even hold the ekicholong.
Hii ni tradition yetu ya Turkana. Hakuna mwanamke anaruhusiwa kushika hii kitu. Ni mwanaume tu peke yake. Sababu mwanamke huwezi kuja kukaa mbele yangu na hii kiti. Sitting arrangement yako kwanza hayataruhusu.
Kwanza mtoto atakani ama timu nyingine kama umeoa rasmi, alafu timu nyingine yakalie mpaka afanye hiyo rituals. Lete mbuzi atakaze hiyo kiti.
Additionally, if you're not of the same age group through marriage or an initiation ceremony known as the asapan, you're not allowed to sit on another person's ekicholong. The Turkana community believes that such a breach is taboo and should never happen, but in case it happens, it can only be reversed through a special cleansing ritual.
Ndio sasa anatoa mbuzi, anaonga hiyo mbuzi, anatoa kinyesi, anasemea hapa juu. Hiyo inamaanisha kwa yeye alifunja amri. Yeye alifunja amri kalia kiti ya mtu msima mwenye amefanywa mela kubwa. Mwenye amefanywa mela kubwa.
Another striking thing about ekicholong is how one is required to wipe evidence after a sitting.
Ikikaa hivi, ukitaka kuamuka, nafanya hivi. Naweza kwenda. Ikisahau kupanguza, kuna mtu ile kuna maana wewe, kuna rombaya na wewe. Nitakuja kupata hiyo kitu unakaa hivyo. Inachukua unapeleka kwa choo ama unapeleka kwa mali ya moto. Sasa kupeleka kwa moto. Sasa mimi hapa naingia kitu kingine hapa. Ile nakaa kama doidoi.
The Turkana is undisputedly one of the communities whose traditions have remained untouched despite the wheels of modernization. They have held on to their beliefs, just as the men hold on to the ekicholong for comfort, status, and rest wherever the day takes them. Nancy Okware, reporting from Kakuma, Turkana County.
Thank you, Nancy, for that interesting and informative piece. Moving on, a non-governmental organization working in Kisii and Nyamira counties has decried the limitation of women in decision-making authorities. Representatives of the International Solidarity Foundation have called for the inclusion of women in bodies that formulate laws and policies, calling for the gender's respect.
There is need for us to, empower our women in terms of giving them opportunities, funding opportunities, marketing opportunities, training opportunities. And one of the challenges that we had as we were having this conversation is that most women are complaining that there is a harassment from, the policy makers, from the police while they are doing their business.
The main challenge that we have in Kisii is patriarchy. There's a lot of male dominance, even in things that, even in areas that we require women, like there are so very few women in decision-making positions, such that they cannot even drive the women agenda because of the few numbers of women in authority.
Moving on, a section of residents of Miwani area in Muhoroni constituency, Kisumu County, has maintained they won't let go of the Miwani nucleus estate that has been the subject of a dispute for a long time. The community, led by Area Member of Parliament James Oyo, has implored the government to lease the 10,000-acre piece of land to an investor who can resuscitate the now dysfunctional Miwani sugar factory or return the land to its original owners, Wycliffe Okech with the story.
The Miwani nucleus estate has been the subject of protracted court cases for nearly 3 decades now. In the latest suit, the Environment and Land Court in Kisumu ruled that the 10,000 acres parcel belonged to a private company in the name of Crossley Holdings. However, members drawn from the Kamagaga, Kabar, Sidho and Wangaya communities in Muhoroni constituency, Kisumu County, have vowed to retain possession of the land using every means available.
On behalf of these communities, we strongly say that the land of Miwani sugar factory belongs to them, and they are ready to make a sacrifice to it.
Watu ya Nandi na watu ya Kisumu County wenye tunaishi hapa Miwani, hatutakubali kamwe shamba letu inyakuliwe na corruptors.
Led by Area Member of Parliament James Onyango Oyo, the irate Miwani residents claimed that there was a group of local leaders out to benefit from the sale of the land at the expense of original owners.
I will continue representing the interest of my electors regardless of what is ahead. And they have empowered me to ensure that we appeal the erroneous judgment that was delivered by one Justice Mbwayo, and I've informed them that already we have taken relevant measures.
I want to make an appeal, and a strong one, to our Honorable Justice Martha Koome, that the case of this land be looked at afresh so that justice can be done for the community.
The residents, who are by extension the sugarcane farmers for the now dysfunctional Miwani sugar factory, want the government to bring an investor to resuscitate the company or return the land to its original owners.
In the absence of the investor, let this land be taken back to the owners who gave it to the company, that has, to those who invested here, those who have been working here, in order to ensure that the people around here get their meals, they take their children to school, and also realize their dreams in as far as development is concerned.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Wycliffe Okech.
From Kisumu, we cross over to the coast, where a section of residents in Lamu County have expressed concerns over the progressive grabbing of the cemetery land by private developers. They say if the trend is not halted, there may be no more land for burying the dead.
The area have called upon the county government of Lamu to rebuild a perimeter wall around the land allocated for cemetery to secure it from encroachment. According to an official of the cemetery side, Kirume, the land grabbing saga started in 2009, and even after reclaiming the land from the grabbers, they are still encroaching.
Kwa wenzangu wa Lamu na wenzangu wa Pwani, tusimameni hima. Ardhi zetu kama hizi hapa ndo mwisho wetu wa majumba. Tuwe na majumba aina gani huko? Hata tuwe na dhahabu aina gani, mwisho wetu ni hini hapa.
It have already built luxurious houses on the grabbed land, decimating the acreage for the cemetery.
Haja iko ya kusecure hizi ardhi, maana wasiposecure hizi ardhi za cemetery ama za msikiti, ama community, wasipozisecure, kuna watu wenye nguvu zaidi watazivamia.
At about 1:30, we are taking another quick break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be making sure that we know what exactly is happening in the world of business and also sports fun. We also have the latest from the weekend fixtures. Don't go away.
Since ancient times, there's never been an emperor who has done that. But if I don't kill her, how could I face Yu Zhen again?
How about we release Chu Xichen and his men?
You crazy?
Look, if we do that, the troops don't come after us.
I'm afraid. We're depending on you. You tried to kill Yu Zhen. She's the woman I love the most. You wanted me to marry her, only to help her realize her ambitions.
Your Majesty!
Your Majesty!
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
This is the ransom the Empress paid in return for His Majesty.
Is it?
Go and get Yi Cao and put her to death.
The Amazons. Woman is not your mother.
Stop!
Stop lying to us, Dad. We don't believe you.
We all just want to know the truth, Dad.
It's wrong.
It's gone, and it's probably at his office.
No.
You need to find a way to get it back from him. I hope you brought that seating document that my son signed, as I asked of you. Do you have it? I am the lady of this house.
No, forgive me. You were. Not anymore.
No, don't touch me.
What's wrong, Mom? Calm down.
My baby, give it back.
Welcome back. In business, we begin in the financial sector where Barclays Chief Executive Jens Staley has stepped down following an investigation into how he described his relationship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The UK financial watchdog and the Bank of England have been investigating Mr. Staley's links to the dead financier. Barclays said it has been made aware of the conclusions of that probe on Friday and that Mr. Staley would contest them. Here are more details in our global business brief.
Mr. Staley decided he should stand down, but Barclays said it was disappointed at this outcome. A statement from Barclays said it should be noted that the investigation makes no findings that Mr. Staley saw or was aware of any of Mr. Epstein's alleged crimes, which was the central question underpinning Barclays' support for Mr. Staley following the arrest of Mr. Epstein in the summer of 2019. It added that the regulatory process had still to run its full course, and it was not appropriate for Barclays to comment further on the preliminary conclusions. Mr. Staley will receive 12 months' pay totaling £2.4 million, as well as his pension allowance of £120,000 for the year and any other benefits. Meanwhile, Australian home prices raced to fresh heights, piling pressure on the country's central bank to open the door to an interest rate rise well before the current projection of 2024. The Reserve Bank of Australia holds its monthly policy meeting, and speculations rifle drop a commitment to keep yields on its April 2024 effectively, signalling an earlier hike in cash rates. Nomura economists stated that yield curve control is an extraordinary policy that semi-ties the central bank's hands, limiting forward flexibility. Finally, tens of thousands of travelers are expected to arrive in Thailand as the country reopens to tourists after 18 months of COVID restrictions. Vaccinated tourists from more than 60 low-risk nations are allowed to enter the country and avoid hotel quarantine. The country is facing restrictions with only around 42% of the population fully vaccinated. Thailand is still registering almost 10,000 COVID infections a day. The coronavirus pandemic hammered Thailand's economy, which would previously attract 40 million tourists a year. Last year, tourist arrivals were down more than 80%.
Closer home, DR Congo plans to ban timber exports in desperate attempt to save the rainforest. It has not been stated exactly how the ban is expected to take effect. However, the ban will not only enable natural restoration but also a reforestation program. Here are the details of this and other stories from across the continent.
The policy change comes barely 1 month after the country was heavily criticized.
Time to play now, and we begin right here in the country where football stakeholders in Kenya have called for an amicable solution to the ongoing impasse between